I'm Fiona and this is Janet Edwards, and today we'll be talking about how does our eyes work and how Irlen Syndrome affects us. How do we see colours?
Right, just seeing normal colours, we see them through our eyes, and we have 4 receptors in our eyes. When we're looking at something, it actually reflects back into the retina.
Exactly, how do glasses affect people who are short-sighted and long-sighted?
Right, so when you're short-sighted or long-sighted, basically you're having a bit of a problem with how far you can see, if something's blurry or not. Putting a lens in front of your eyes actually rectifies that. It makes it clear, and that sorts out the problem that you've got.
And for my next question, exactly what is Irlen Syndrome?
Right, what is Irlen Syndrome? The actual technical label for Irlen Syndrome is a visual perceptual disorder. A lot of people think that it's actually your eye that's causing the problem with Irlen Syndrome. It's not actually your eye at all, but actually Irlen Syndrome is a brain dysfunction. It's when your brain actually can't sort out different spectrums of light, so different colours, that your brain can't cope with it. And because your brain can't cope with it, it causes all sorts of distortions.
How does it really affect a person who has Irlen Syndrome?
Right, it can affect you in a lot of ways. If you're lucky in a minor way, it might just be looking at a piece of paper and maybe the words might blur a little bit, the words might jump a little bit, and it might just be a bit tricky to do. On a really, really bad case, you can get really bad headaches, really bad migraines. You can't judge distances, you can't see where stairs are, you can't see the flat part and the down part of a stair. You can't judge how far anything is away. You sometimes can only see a titchy little bit in front of you, and you can't see around, which is incredibly dangerous if you're driving. All sorts of different ways, really.
How do you get Irlen Syndrome?
Right, basically, majority of people are born with it, and you will inherit it from your parents. That is one way. Some people later in life actually can get it, sort of acquire it later on, maybe with a head injury or maybe a virus or an illness. But the majority of people do get it from birth.
What can you do to help someone with Irlen Syndrome?
Right, it depends how far really the person goes. To start with, when you're tested, that would be part of the testing would be with a coloured sheet, which is called an overlay. Some people just use this coloured sheet and they're quite happy with it. A lot of the time the environment is moving as well. So, you could look at a clock and the clock hands could be moving. You could look at a whiteboard, the whiteboard writing's moving. Obviously the overlay won't help that at all. You can adjust the environment when you're living in your house. Maybe not paint all the walls white, paint them a sort of a soothing colour for you. Not have too much patterning, because a lot of people with Irlen Syndrome are like a gingham, like a squared pattern or a zigzag pattern really drives them nuts. Basically, it can make you feel really, really ill and sick. Obviously, the filters are the ultimate. To have the Irlen filters, because that will block the light sensitivity, it will sort the headaches out. Some people actually are getting epilepsy because of Irlen. They're having fits because of the light. So that you can get wraparound glasses as well. The light really drives you mad, basically. You can have your glass in front of you, and that's fine. But if you've got a load of spaces round, your brain's not it's not working to full capacity with the filters.
And finally, for my last question, can it be cured?
No. Some people decide that yes, I am better, but I think that is mainly because children and people get a little bit older, and they would rather not wear their filters. So they say, yes, I'm better, but it doesn't actually get better at all. With the filters, in the majority of cases, having the filters on, it will sort all their problems out. Yeah. But when the filters come off, obviously that comes back again. But it doesn't actually get better, no.
Thank you very much for coming in and talking to me.
That's fine, that's good. It's always good to get the message out there. There's a lot of people need to know this.